finally here. The players reported and practice is in full swing. So that must mean you have several questions for this week's Pick 6. So let's get some answer. Christian Zimmerman kicks us off with this question. What do you think is the plan for the running backs this season, and how might they be used differently from last year? Our new Vikings editorial assistant Ellis Williams makes his Pick 6 debut with the answer to this question.
So for the running backs this year, it really starts with how they're going to use that room to attack the coverage that the passing game faces. Of course, Justin Jefferson is often facing too high coverage, press man, and that means the running backs are looking at a light box, usually only 7 defenders in there. Wes Phillips talked today about how Alexander Mattison is a player that everyone around the league is going to start to know. They're really raving about Alexander, who's now going to step in as the number 1 back. He's a guy who is going to be able to be explosive in the passing game, and they believe will take advantage of these light boxes. Of course, there's also Josh Oliver, the tight end that the team brought in, which will give Minnesota an opportunity to, again, attack those light boxes with heavier personnel. You can't forget CJ Ham, of course, who the team's going to find ways to use in more creative and heavy ways this year, both in the passing game and in the red zone. It's a full room, and between the tight ends and the running backs, and of course the fullback CJ Ham, I think that the Vikings have an opportunity to exploit those light boxes and free up Justin Jefferson for even more scores and more yardage.
Thanks, Ellis, for the answer. We look forward to seeing your work all season long on Vikings.com. On to question number 2. It's from Hudson in Annandale. He wants to ask Andrew Booth Jr., how much more comfortable are you going into this year's training camp opposed to last year's? What are you looking forward to most about this new defense? Andrew, take it away.
I feel like I'm more comfortable because I've kind of played this style of defense before. In college with Coach V, the scheme, the pressure that's being sent, the different coverages we play in the back end. Cat corner blitzes, I'm not new to that. And the most exciting thing is, all the different defenses we'll be playing, the different spots we'll be in, and, the different coverages we'll be playing, so I can get my hands on more balls in the back end.
We are also looking forward to seeing Andrew fly around in year number 2. Moving on to a question of the same theme, we're sticking to defense. Silence wants to know, how can we better utilize blitzes? Who will replace Eric Kendrick's leadership? Vikings radio analyst and former NFL linebacker Pete Bursich takes this one.
Thank you very much, Silas, for your questions. I think the Vikings can better utilize blitzes by being able to play not just zone behind them, but also man-to-man. We don't know what Flores is going to do defensively, but I do think you're going to see a lot more man-to-man, and that gives you a lot more flexibility, gives you a lot more opportunity to build different packages, to attack different formations, different protections. So I expect to see a lot more of that. And don't forget, it's not just about the blitzes you draw, but who you send. So we need to find some linebackers like a Brian Asamoah that can really get north and south. I think he'd be a great blitzer. Now, as far as the leadership of Eric Kendricks, I think the Vikings are going to be okay. You've got Troy Reeder. He's been around for 5 years. Jordan Hicks been around for 9 years, 14 years between them. I think from a leadership standpoint, we're going to be okay. Where we are going to miss Kendricks is in his ability to cover in the zone, but I think we'll be able to replace that. So defensively, I don't see us going anywhere but up. All right, thank you.
Thanks, Pete. You can watch him analyzing the first padded practice on Monday when Training Camp Live airs on Fox 9 and all of our Vikings social channels beginning at 2 o'clock. And you'll see this next guy who answers a Pick 6 question on that broadcast. It's a question for rookie Jay Ward. Isaac wants to know, how does Jay Ward feel about his versatility? Does he have a preferred position? We caught up with Jay after practice.
That's a great question, Isaac. I don't have a preferred position. Wherever I get in on the field, I play there. It's great knowing I can play anywhere in the secondary where I'm needed. So wherever it's hole at, I try to play there, get on the field.
Thank you, Jay. Moving right along into question number 5. It's from Ricky Avila. He wants to know, how will Jordan Addison help the offense? We got former NFL wide receiver himself and friend of the show, Ron Johnson, to answer this one.
Jordan Addison will be able to help this Vikings offense out because he can run routes from the outside and the slot effectively. But his speed, he ran a 4.4 at the combine, but he plays at 4.4. A lot of guys run fast, but then they don't play fast because they're thinking too much. Jordan Addison has figured out this offense pretty quick, and he plays pretty fast. So he's going to be able to help this offense out because of his speed, his ability to take the top off of a defense, meaning if a safety is playing too tight or too low trying to double Justin Jefferson in the slot, Jordan Addison outside is going to be an immediate deep threat opportunity for Kirk Cousins to have some big plays. I think Jordan Addison is going to fit in just fine with KJ Osborne and Justin Jefferson, and I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Always love hearing from Ron. I've seen Jordan Addison making some awesome catches already at practice and really looking forward to seeing what he can do for the Vikes this season. Last but not least, it's time for question number 6. Minnesota left winger with a head scratcher. How can we get better at making teams pay for selling out to stop Justin Jefferson? What more can be done to make it harder to take him away? Vikings Entertainment Network's Gabe Henderson takes this one.
Minnesota left winger, appreciate the question. When it comes to making sure that defenses pay for not wanting to put all the attention on JJ, this Minnesota Vikings team has to run the ball effectively. Alexander Mattison, being the bowling ball that he is, always rolling forward, getting that extra yard, he's going to have to continue to do that to put pressure on the defense so they won't go 4 DBs, 5 DBs, and double JJ. So when JJ is getting double or he's getting man-to-man coverage, he's still going to catch some of those contested balls. So if he is getting doubled, that's going to open up more opportunities for KJ, Jordan Addison, TJ Hockenson. So there's really no way to stop this Minnesota Vikings offense in 2023 unless they stop themselves. And for that, I can see this offense scoring a lot of points.
Well, that concludes this episode of Pick 6. Don't forget to tune in to Training Camp Live on Monday as we see the Vikings put on the pads for the first time. You can watch that on Fox 9 or any of the Vikings social channels beginning at 2 o'clock. And don't be shy, send in your questions to Pick 6. You can use my Twitter handle @Tatum Everett, and maybe it'll end up on the next show.